Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today we have to talk about a misinformation campaign online because it is getting people infected and possibly killed thanks to the pandemic. Now, here's what's going on, and this is coming from various sources, including Newsweek and others, and we are talking about a situation here primarily in the United States. Now, if you don't live here, you may not know that many states in the Union have mandated the use of face coverings in public spaces due to the possibility of the spread of coronavirus. This is true of countries worldwide, not just here in the United States, such as our friends to the north in Canada. But some individuals see wearing a face mask here as a violation of their civil liberties, and therefore someone decided to make a fake flyer that can be converted into a card, and they put this online. And this card, at least the one that has primarily been circulating around the internet, typically bears the Department of Justice's logo and states, and I quote, "I am exempt from any ordinance requiring face mask usage in public. Wearing a mask poses a mental and or physical risk to me. Under the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, I am not required to disclose my condition to you." Now, depending on the card that's out there, and now there are more than one circulating out there, but the card says some form of, and I quote, "Any business or organization which denies access to an individual bearing this card will be reported to the FTBA for further actions." Now, if you're wondering who the FTBA are, they're this. This stands for the Freedom to Breathe Agency, whose logo and website is also on this card. Now, according to their website, the FTBA is, and I quote, "a movement of proud American citizens who are dedicated to protecting their freedoms and liberty." Now, a Facebook link on the FTBA website, where this basically exploded because this is what Facebook does with misinformation, they run their own private page, and according to this group's history, the FTBA was previously known as the Anti-Mask Task Force, and this group has been in existence since the beginning of June of 2020. Now, their site and their group page make many demonstrable false assertions on masks, such as they might cause possible organ failure due to lack of oxygen being delivered through the mask to your body. And please feel free to tell that to, let's say, surgeons in the ER who spend hours in masks and don't pass out and get brain damage, or painters and other people like that. So I really don't buy that as a scientific explanation. And there have been plenty of studies out there, because masks are typically designed to allow oxygen to flow but trap particles coming in and out. So that is mostly and very easily debunked. But they also explain that wearing a mask is, and I quote, "a psychological anchor for suppression, enslavement, and cognitive obedience. How long before your human farmers trick you into believing that it is better you stop breathing altogether as to stop the spread of the virus?" And this is on their website and Facebook page. Now, excuse me, I think it's important to know a couple of different things. That this is absolutely bunk, in the sense that there is no law. This does not actually fall under the Americans with Disability Act, and the Department of Justice has come out and basically stated that this is demonstrably false. So if you present this, let's say, to a police officer who is stopping you for not wearing a mask when it is mandated by your state or municipality, this is not going to protect you legally, and you have no recourse against this whatsoever. And also the side of this too, and I guess maybe it's having spent a lot of time, traveling all over the place and all of that, there's a lot of cultures where if people get sick, just out of courtesy for everybody else, they're going to put a mask on, So I can walk down, for example, as I've done, times before, like in Beijing, and I see some people in masks, and I am grateful for that, especially if they have a flu or something like that. I also, in my state, we have mask requirements when we walk into stores to buy stuff, and I will put on the mask, not necessarily to protect me. I am not in a high-risk demographic, but if there are elderly people in the store, or people that I simply don't know that might be at high risk due to their own internal ailments, even if they're my age or younger, I feel like it's just a common courtesy. I don't feel trampled on, and I would like to say I'm fairly libertarian in my views. So by virtue of that, I mean, here we are. But the problem that I have with stuff like this is that we are tending to politicize a pandemic, and my primary driver here, especially because I talk about tech news and I don't get political, with this kind of stuff, because I believe my job in cybersecurity is agnostic to politics. But when I see misinformation, being spread and then widely adopted in the population, especially on platforms like Facebook, that is a very serious issue. We also know that a lot of advertisers have pulled out of Facebook, and Facebook's founder Mark Zuckerberg has lost an estimated $7 billion, in wealth due to this stock dropping, because Verizon and Coca-Cola and others have started pulling out due to the misinformation issues, and they've now started going after these kinds of groups and stuff like that. So we're going to see where that leads to, because Facebook is being hit in the pocketbook, which is, I think, the only thing Mark Zuckerberg really sees and cares about. That's my own personal opinion, and you can watch plenty of videos that I have done demonstrably, I think, proving that. But if you see one of these cards, if you're one of these people that do not believe you should be wearing a mask out there, that is your business. I'm not here to dictate to you in any which way, shape, or form, but please understand that if you are attempting to use this card, it's not going to help you in the legal sense. You have no recourse here in this sense, because the Department of Justice clearly states that this has nothing to do with the Americans for Disability Act. So this is kind of your PSA, for Saturday. But please, whatever you do, no matter where you go, please be courteous of others and their possible ailments and their possible susceptibility to this, because I would really hate to see one of my elderly relatives, for example, die because somebody wasn't wearing a mask, and they had to go out, for whatever reason or something like that, and maybe the mask would have helped a little bit. Let's just be all in this together, and obviously I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of people they're going to send me hate mail or post or whatever that is, and that's fine too. I kind of expect that, just given what I do. But again, not politicizing. Just make sure that you know the facts when you are looking online, especially on Facebook and websites, because quite frankly, anybody can put anything out there, and this is proof of that. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP, where hopefully I will not give you misinformation. And always, please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.